Hello and welcome, dear Gnostic Takeover initiates, family, friends, everyone listening to this here. Welcome to this live stream. I've been away for quite some time, and this is sort of like a comeback, and I will get into more details as I'm speaking. So I'm just trying to kickstart this live stream now, and I'll be sharing it on all of the platforms available at my fingertips. And yeah, it's great to be back. I will hear my voice now. I've checkmated that. Good. It's great to be back. Absolutely wonderful. We have one viewer as of right now. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. And this is all about being able to surprise yourself. I didn't expect this up till like 15 minutes ago, where suddenly the idea dropped in on me, and I was like, yeah, why not? Why not? Why not just go for it? That would be fun, wouldn't it? It's like we used to do as children. Just, you know, are you available? Can we head into the park? Can we go to the football field and play some football? Whatever we did as kids. We didn't think much about it, did we? We just went right out and went for it, didn't we? And that's sort of the motto of today. And I've put a few slides together. It was also important for me to show you my Chavy Chase also today, for everyone who's not acquainted to the way of the geezer, how the geezer speaks. His Chavy Chase, meaning his face. I've not shown anyone my face for a while, and I will get into that also. So I'm just sharing this on all of the platforms, including the fake book, right? I'm still on there. Yeah, you can. The same as I'm on YouTube. I also keep. This also keeps coming around. That obviously I can't be for real because I'm still on this censorship platform called YouTube. Well, you fail to notice one of the key ingredients of the Gnostic takeover, which is that we take over. And we don't just hide out in creating our new platforms, which is also good. It's good to have new ideas and have diversified platforms, diversified ideas is always great, as creativity is in abundance anyway. It's infinite. However, the Gnostic takeover is all about taking over the internet space, taking over the internet, and taking back YouTube, taking back Facebook, just for the sake, because it pisses them off. It pisses off the enemies of life to think like that, because that's where we are in the real realm of resolution of this crisis. Good, we've got 12 viewers, that's amazing. So, what's the topic of today, you may ask? It's freedom. It's always been freedom. It will always be about freedom. The Gnostic takeover is about freedom. And so, you want it. This means, this is how I'm putting forward to translate what the source of all life, the one and only highest source of all creation, of all life force, what the source thinks of freedom. So you want it to be without fear. That's freedom. That's what it truly is, and we'll get into it. So, without further ado, I'm so happy to have you here on the live stream. It feels so good to be back, and it really, really does make a whole difference when you take a break, when you take a time out. Don't worry, the world will keep on spinning without you and your input, because it was a great time for me, a great time of learning, great time of introspection, great time of processing of information that then feeds into my perception. That's where the freedom is. It's in the perception. And for our perception to change, we need to process information. The processing of information changes perception. It is data input that changes the way the brain decodes reality, how our mind decodes reality. And I'm all here to decode a new reality. Or is it a reality that has always been there? Has Nikola Tesla tapped into that reality? Or Leonardo da Vinci, the geniuses that we've had here on the world? It's best time that the geniuses of the world shine their light right now. That's why you're listening to this live stream here right now, because I'm shining my genius. That's what it takes. That's gonna make all the difference. And all I can do is, I'm not here to wake other people up. No, that's an old idea where you can just as well bang your head against the wall. It's the same thing like waking other people up. All I can do is to apply the knowledge that I take in deeply and be more or less a role model. I can only show how I live my life, the information that drives me, that gets my heart pumping, that activates my soul, my heart soul essence. The power of inspiration. Socrates, education is not the filling of a vessel, it is the kindling of a flame. And that's what I'm here to do. And so let's head right into the slides, shall we? Because I've got some things prepared, and again, it just feels great to be back. And sometimes you need to let it all go. Sometimes you need to let it all go for things to flourish, for things to get a new breath of air. And that's what I did. So let's head right into the slides. Thank you for joining me. So I was gone and out. Yeah. I took a break, and I needed a break. I was also sick for a week, physically sick. Oh my goodness. I even quarantined myself. Like my superiors told me. Well, I took to the bed. That's what I did when I'm physically ill. And it was very healing, because for me, sickness and illness, or like the flu that I had, which is part of the activation of the corona. Yeah, absolutely. I'm all for that. Activating the corona, the crown of sovereignty. However, for me, any illness or the flu is part of a much deeper healing. And that's all that illness is for me. And it was there to process the information, all the informations that happened in the last 6 months. That was the last time when I was sick, which just happened to be in Saint Corona, when I was in Saint Corona, and when I did the Corona job with, who at the time I did it together with Errol, which has since turned out to be a much more mysterious situation than I expected it to be. Errol is no longer with the Gnostic Takeover, and I won't get into that today. I just wanted to say that the last time I was sick was in Saint Corona in November, and being ill now really was a release of all that tension, all the stress of everything that has happened in the last 6 months. I was homeless for the first time in my life after the Corona job, which just goes to show about the depth of the job that we did there, the great work, taking back this planet from the grasps of the pretenders who think they can just rule over this planet. Well, they can't. Best proof of that. And there was a lot of stress and like attacks and all sorts of things that have been going on here at the Gnostic Taker. You've been a witness to many of the things that have happened. We were attacked. Our house was broken into. The child Leonie from Liz, the mother, was taken away in very dramatic fashion at the end of February, and we had to recover from that trauma, and like all hell broke loose. It's been the most challenging 6 months of my life. However, it's a challenge that I came here to face and that I am facing, and it is all here to go deep, to build strong foundation. That's what it's here to do. To go mighty deep, because I will need it. We will need it, because the future belongs to us. The future belongs to mankind. To the message of truth. I invoke the one and only truth when I say the higher causes supersede and eliminate all the lower causes. The time of the truth is now, and the truth will shine into all corners of the earth, of this reality, and therefore I need it. We need it, because I'm not going to embark on this on myself. I'm taking Liz with me. Liz is part of the Gnostic Takeover. I'm taking the whole Gnostic Takeover crew with me. This is a growing endeavor. It's beautiful, it's magical, it's uncontrollable. It's the Gnostic Takeover. And we'll go everywhere. We'll take over the internet sphere, the virtual reality space. We'll win the information war, because that's what happens with the truth. The truth reigns, and the truth goes very deep. That's why we go deep. Go deep for a strong foundation, and that's what this was about. That's why I've been away for a little more than 4 weeks now, after the magnum opus that I aired on the 30th of April, which was what I wanted to do on Walpurgisnacht. It's not only a special day for the dark occult, but also for the light magicians, because we're here to take over. It's time now. And for that to happen, we're building a strong foundation, going very deep into the waters of wisdom. And for that, it's all about shadow work, really. I know there's a lot being spoken about this everywhere, and it better be. It's the great work of all ages, is to work on yourself. And the more you work on your shadow, the more power you integrate. The power lies within the shadow, within the darkness, because the darkness are our repressed past feelings, the past that we'd rather not look back to. However, it's the past that always catches up with us. That's the nature of life. When energy is not integrated and digested, it will always show up. It's repressed energy. That's emotions. The fear, the worry, the anxiety. That's more into the future, obviously, the anxiety, what's going to happen and all that. The sadness, everything, let it come up. And that shadow work is mighty important. It's all about being honest with yourself. And even though I'm very, very deep, I was already very, very deep into the waters of about 13 years of shadow work. Ever since I started my work, I've been doing shadow work. However, you begin to have a different attitude towards it. That's what it's all about, to change your attitude towards the shadow work and take yourself by the hand and the inner child that wishes to be released from the grips of the demonic realm, and take your child by the hand and walk through it. The only way out is through. Walk through all the emotions that come up, and the more you integrate the shadow, the less the shadow empire, the shadow government, the real shadow government of dark occultists have access to you. So the more shadow work you do, the less the dark occult has access to you, because they can only work through your shadow and through your wounds and through your trigger points. And that's why I'm doing the great work of all ages, because I wish to be anchored as a sovereign being. I wish to be anchored in natural organic reality, in original natural organic reality, where I am the one and only authority, true sovereignty. However, that comes by owning one's shadow. That's the name of the game. This is the most important work that we can do in it. One hears so many things about shadow work and the so-called truth community when they talk about that. Oh, I've already done my shadow work. I did my shadow work 10 years ago or 20 years ago. I did really hardcore shadow work, and I'm telling everyone else now that they need to do their shadow work, and they claim, or they present an image as if they've already finished their shadow work. Well, that's bullshit. That's absolute bollocks. Okay? Anyways, from the ones that I have heard, like Mark Passio, for example, it's just not true. So we all have to work on ourselves, and that absolutely includes me. I'm always on alert, and boy did I go through some shadows. I mean, Liz can tell you a thing or two about my great talents that I have in acting, actually. I mean, I'm mighty real. I know the only thing I can be is to be real, because there's no escape from that. I want the truth and nothing but the truth, because that's what's gonna lay a strong foundation for the Gnostic takeover. However, Liz can tell you a word or two how mightily talented I am in the act of playing and drama. I can be a drama queen. Oh yeah, I really can be, and that's good. I'm all for that, and I'm always learning, which is great. Life has so many facets, and I just wanted to drop that on you to Never ever perceive me as someone who's already fully enlightened and all that. No, enlightenment is a process. It's a path that I fully honor and respect. And it's beautiful. One can make it beautiful. And also, right, I want to mention that we are right at the cusp of completing the 5. All right, we're into numerology here also. I like to crisscross a little bit with the realm of the esoterics, the different esoteric arts, like for example numerology. There's also the tarot, there's astrology, there's many different ways how we can delve into the esoterics, learn about psychology, about archetypes, the energy of archetypes, like the king archetype that I love to talk about. And the time now is just very interesting. The whole year 2022 is very, very interesting. I would say it's the year where we take back our planet, and the year of freedom, the year of truth. That's what I dedicate it to anyway. And the 5, we're on the cusp of completing the 5, the pentagram, the pentacle. When you have it in a circle, it's mightily important. It's all about alignment, aligning with the truth. And this is why I took a deep dive. Okay, go deep for strong foundations and do the great work of all ages, the shadow work on yourself, in order to align, to purify, to sacrifice the lower aspects of myself on the altar of truth. Become a Satanist myself, blood sacrifice ritual of my own shadow self. That is the true great work, where in the flames of purification, the real and the true self rises. It shines, and the darkness, the old, the past, all the old food, for example, suddenly becoming the humus for the earth, the most fertile earth that is black, that we can now use to plant our new plants of our new reality that we're creating. And that is the 5, that is the May for you here. And from May, from the 5, we are transforming into the 6. Oh, no fear of that. The 6 is all about harmony and balance. So first you align with the 5, true alignment, the upright pentagram rather than the inverted pentagram, a major symbol of Satanism. We flip the inversion and we're the upright pentagram because we're proud, because we are mankind. We're proud of who we are. No one can tell us who we are. We're sovereign. Alright, don't give a fuck about all the fear-mongering that's going on in the alternative media. Oh, there's going to be a war of Russia and the US and Third World War, food shortages, and the crash is going to come. That is all secondary information sources which might apply in the future. However, here, the Gnostic Takeover deals with the elite information. It is primary information about the nature of consciousness, how consciousness creates reality, and how it is us from the inside out that creates reality, not the other way around. We need to get that right. We create reality from the inside out. And the way we decode reality depends on how we, as an observing consciousness in this world, The reality that we create depends on how we, as observing consciousness, observe it, how we see the world. And I see the world as a beautiful opportunity for empowerment. I'm not here to blow the trumpet of what's going to happen in the future and it has to get worse until the people wake up. No, I'm only a drama queen when I'm sick, but not in real life. I'm a winner. I'm here for the glory. I'm here for the victory. I don't need any drama. I'm going to do everything in my power because I'm a responsible member of mankind. I take full responsibility for this planet, and I don't need food shortages on a world of abundance that creates an abundance called nature. And I don't need any crashes when the crash of the world economy, when we say that we are the backing of the financial system, we are the collateral to the money, and therefore we have the say as the energy source of this system. Thank you. That's the truth. Where's the power? It's with us, has always been with us, and therefore we enact that power now. The power of an idea. That's what the Gnostic Takeover wishes to share with the whole wide world. Oh, you want to change the world? Oh, you can't change the world. You can only change yourself. Well, that's where it starts. Yeah, I grant you that. But there's one of the manipulation belief systems of esoterics, okay, and the New Age religion. Oh, you can't change the world, you can only change yourself. No, changing myself is where it starts. That's the basis, called shadow work. However, then, as I'm changing myself and I'm getting the power of an idea, I'm going to carry that out into the world. That's the conqueror in me, maybe, alright? That's my English side. That's pumping through my veins. The British Empire of truth, alright? Taking over the world, that's what the Gnostic Takeover is. And the power of an idea is that only thing that will change the world. It's catching. It's catching. Look at what Wim Hof, for example. I love to keep mentioning the guy because look at Wim Hof and the effect that he had on the world. That's the power of an idea. Going into the ice cold water and doing breathing exercises. He took over the freaking world with that. If Wim Hof can do it, you can do it, and then most certainly I can do it. And I can only lead by example and say, I'm going to take over the whole planet with the power of an idea. The idea that this is our world, this is our planet, and we are taking back the world. Everything we're taking back because that's the only thing we can do. Because the outside exterior world that I am experiencing is inseparable from me as the observing consciousness that creates it. Therefore, I can only take back the whole thing. I'm one with nature. And this is the information directly from nature. The plant medicine that I keep mentioning here, because that is who I have a bond with. With your birth certificate, they create a bond that links you into the Wetiko mind virus matrix construct by way of the birth certificate. However, here at the Gnostic Takeover, we're eliminating that bond because that bond is all based on trust. I don't trust no one in this system. Why? Because no one is ready to take responsibility. Because history repeats itself. We're back in the times of the First and Second World War, when at tribunals, at war tribunals, what did people say? That why did you carry out the orders? I was just doing what I was told to do, and I couldn't think for myself. Yeah, I know all about that. The Gnostic Takeover knows about history and isn't so stupid to repeat it. Therefore, the Gnostic Takeover recognizes I don't trust anyone in this system. I hold everyone in this system liable, privately liable, if they try and cause damage to me or to my human family of mankind. I'll hold them privately liable, and once you're in the private sphere, it's unlimited liability. That's how we end the Wetiko mind virus matrix construct system, the criminal system. That's how we end it, by holding everyone liable. That's how we end that and eliminate the bond. The bond is only the bond to that construct of Wetiko, of the spirit of evil. That bond is only upright as long as you still trust in that system. Remove and eliminate your trust. I think there's quite a lot of points, a lot of indications that we should do that, because it's a sinking ship. The Titanic is nothing in comparison. And I myself, I have bonded with the plant kingdom. My bond is with ayahuasca and datura. I have drunk it in the brew, and that is where my bond is. It's the plant kingdom, it's the intelligence of the earth, it's natural intelligence, it's the juxtaposition of artificial intelligence that can go in the dustbin and maximum serve us in the future. Nothing more. The power of an idea is the Gnostic Takeover. We take it all back. And that is what changes the world. It's an idea. It's a contagious virus. Because once it gets hold of you, it doesn't leave you, and you're like, yeah, actually we should walk into the Vatican. Why not? Great buildings. No way did they build it. The freaking priests can't build nothing. These are remnants of an ancient civilization that had probably a similar level of consciousness to that which is speaking to you right now. Exactly. Therefore, those buildings are served for the best, for mankind, for those who are in glory, for those who are in honor. And that's what the Gnostic Takeover stands for. What has also gripped me as an idea, which has been a major theme in my life the last few days, is that life is never, ever like you think it is. Oh yeah, my life is like this and it will always be like that because it has always been like that. No. Everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. And in actual fact, when you look closely, you go and take a look into that desk you're sitting at right now, or in the chair you're sitting on right now, or the couch you're sitting on. If you take the time with a microscope and really zoom in there, what's going on the quantum level of reality, it all starts to vibrate at one point. Because everything freaking is. Energy, frequency, and vibration, what we call reality, gives us the effect of solidity because it's electromagnetism. And one electromagnetic field, your hand touching another electromagnetic field, gives you the sensation of touching something. It's all electromagnetism, which is again frequency. So everything is always vibrating. Everything is always being born. Every single day that we wake up is a new start. It's a new beginning. So if today sucked for you, okay, you can choose to keep sucking at it today. I've had that many times in my life, all right? Just continue along and go to sleep. If you can make it, make an intention before you go to sleep. This is what me as a Gnostic, an intentionalizer, I live my life by intention because I create my life. No one else does that for me. And then wake up tomorrow and realize that I am telling you the one and only truth when I say this is the first day of my life. Great. I'm back. No matter how long I've been sleeping, I'm back. And life is back. This is the first day of my life. And it's a day of celebration. It's a day where I changed my perception. And I got this from the brilliant Walter White character of Breaking Bad in season 2 at the very beginning when he tells Jesse, the other character, Jesse, this could be the first day of your life if you make it so. You don't want to be all fearful and I can't. You don't want to be there. This could be the first day of your life. Truth spoken by the criminal in the series. A modus operandi that you can see very often in Hollywood, right? But it's nonetheless the absolute truth, and it's a beautiful perspective to have. No matter what has happened in your life, choose that this is the first day of my life again. I'm going to look at things different now, and I'm going to let my shadows come up from the past and do the great work of all ages, because that's the only thing that's going to get you out of that rut. It's not the dark occult that's at fault for your life. It's because you let the dark occult have access to your shadow, which then keeps you in a perpetual feedback loop that is the prison of the mind. Shadow work is what gets you out of there. And then there will come a point where you're like, this is the first day of my life. Go for it. Realize that you are the source of power. Every one of us is. That's why no one can wake anyone up. We ourselves decide. We choose. We can only lead by example, like I do here. Realize that you are the source of power. You are the power. That's what we talk here on the Gnostic Takeover. It's all about power. Take risks and conquer your fears. This world is not about all the... We come back to ourselves here at the Gnostic Takeover. That's what we do here at the Gnostic Takeover. We come back to ourselves. Just let go of all the food shortages and wars and whatever mind viruses the alternative media have tried to implant on kickstart in you again, that feedback loop in your mind. Let it go whilst you're listening to the Gnostic Takeover anyway. That's why I don't consume any information about what's going on in the world since half a year, because I've been more engaged in conquering my fears. The entire control system, the entire Wetico matrix control system construct is based on you not making that jump. That's what it's all about. It's all about the jump. Take the risk. Take risks. And move beyond your comfort zone. The comfort zone is Wetico. The comfort zone is the prison, is the control system. Expand beyond it. And that's what I did here at the Gnostic Takeover. I took risks by exposing the pedo-satanic criminal network that runs the world. Naming names on here also. People that I've directly encountered in my life. I took risks. But you know why I did it? Because it was the right thing to do. That's why I did it. Because something changes in the fabric of reality when you start naming names. And that created a situation of trauma where they got so freaked out with the work that we're doing that the dark occult, insinuated a situation where they broke into our house, trespass by way of kidnapping, and kidnapping the child of Liz, Leonie. That was a consequence of me taking that risk. Would I do it again? Absolutely. Because it's the right thing to do. Bring it on. I'm conquering my fears. Because I know that I won't be ruled by fear any longer. Because I want the truth and I want to be free. And that, by conquering your fears, you activate your source of power. And I tell you, as traumatizing as it was to lose Leonie and have the police show up here and all the drama here, I'm happy it happened. Not for Liz, obviously, and I have all the empathy in the world. That's why I work with Liz every single day. I have all the empathy for what has happened. However, I'm happy it happened because it activated that trauma inside of me again, that fear. It was activated, the fear was activated that someone could steal my freedom, and you know what? They failed. Because no one can steal my freedom. Because I am in charge of my life. I have always been in charge of my life. And that's the one and only truth that I'm speaking here. Because I am the source of power. Because I know that there is no such thing as a consensus, collective reality that we exist in. That would imply that we live in a materialistic reality. It's not true. And I'm going full steam ahead in saying that every single one listening here, me included, I live in my own reality. This is my reality bubble that I call the world, that is here for my experience, and I'm actually inside my own psyche. And I don't fear my own psyche. And my shadow expands out into the world, and I take down my own shadow self because there's a new boss in town, and it's called the sovereign being, the crown, the jewel, the crown of mankind, ourselves, truly, the true self. And we're taking over from the shadow self now. That's the Gnostic takeover. First inner, then outer. Both at the same time. Yeah, as I said right at the beginning of this live stream, it's all about freedom. That's what it's all about. It's all about that freedom. This is what the Gnostic takeover is dedicated. However, what does it mean? It means you wanted to live without fear. So many interpretations one can have about freedom, and some people would say that freedom for them is being able to go into a coffee shop and have a cup of coffee. Well, that has nothing to do with freedom for me. So many ways how people frame what freedom is, but actually it's the absence of fear. Yeah, there we go. That's the truth. We know by knowing what it is not. Freedom is not fear. And yeah, I want to live without fear. That's why, instead of being ruled by it, I take the freaking leap and conquer it. And you'll be taken by planetary intelligence, by the earth that you're connected to intrinsically, with your heart. Your heart pumping is the Schumann resonance of the earth. She will gladly take you, and you'll be inserted into her dreaming. Her dreaming is the idea that changes all of reality. The Gnostic takeover. The perception without fear. That's our enemy. Alright, we can observe enemies in our outside world. Yeah. However, we are far closer to the truth when we can identify the enemy being fear. But what is fear? Why do we even have fear? I would say it's our deepest fear is to step out of our state of victimhood and finally become true sovereign beings. Own all of it. Don't blame the dark occult. Don't blame anyone outside of you. Own everything. You need to own it. You are in charge of your life. You have always been in charge of your life. And now own everything. If we do that, the world's your oyster. You shine your light then. And fear is the dynamic, the energetic dynamic. It's the energetic dynamic that takes you beyond any comfort zone or any reality bubble that you may exist in. Fear takes you beyond it because then you say, oh, I'm feeling this fear. Let me face it. Let me conquer that fear. Let me see what they've got. And then you see that it was all in your mind, just playing tricks on you not to face it because you were an energy source for an interdimensional vampire species that wanted to keep you in a loop of consciousness where you can feed them the emotion that they feed on. You are their food source. You are their sustenance. Therefore, they want to keep you afraid and keep you in the loop of doubting. And when you face the fears, you see that it wasn't half as dramatic or bad as you made it up to be in your mind. That's the truth. And you'll feel good about yourself. Better than blowing smoke up your ass in your meditation courses. True spirituality is facing your fear, and sometimes you swear. Because, as I said, this is all about freedom, and when you speak, you better speak pointedly. Name it for what it actually really is. Freedom and the truth. Freedom is to face your fears, to conquer your fears, and to own your fears by facing them. And freedom is not blowing smoke up your asses in meditation courses. That's not spirituality. Although meditation is very helpful to calm you down, to center yourself, to balance yourself. However, it is worth nothing when you do not face those fears. That's all I'm saying. I myself do meditation every second day at least. So, it's one slide we had before, and always happy to delve into this topic. This is what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, my dear Gnostic Takeover crew here listening to this. We're changing the reality station. I already said that this whole Wetico matrix construct runs with your permission. It runs in your mind as a program, and I'll go much deeper into that there's so much more to come here. We're kickstarting this again. As I said at the beginning, I've taken time out to just become better, to become more wiser, to have a strong foundation, because I'll need it. This is just the start, and that's why there's so much more to come here on this channel. I'm so happy to have you here listening to this. We're changing radio stations. And as I already said, the Wetico matrix construct keeps you in bondage with a bond that was created with your birth certificate. However, they don't play by the rules. The birth certificate is not the problem. Even the system is not the problem, because a system is always a system of insurance. Everything has to be insured by way of contracts. That is actually fair. There's nothing wrong with a system that is based on contract and consensus. However, the dark occultists are playing a forced game. They created a system within a system where they just think they can impose Agenda 2030 and technocracy on you without getting your permission and your signature by way of contract. They think in their dementia that they can surpass that. And they won't. They're playing a fake game, and I'm calling them out on it. You're bonded by an artificial Wetico matrix construct with a bond, and we'll go deep into that in further shows. There's also a new magnum opus coming up after this one, and will come soon. I'll delve deep into the bondage. And the artificial Wetico matrix construct is basically, to keep it short for now, because I'm reintroducing myself, I'm celebrating my comeback here. It's so great to be back. The artificial Wetico matrix construct is an emotional reactive system, a reactive emotional system that keeps you trapped and keeps you bonded through your trapped emotions. That's why the great work of all ages is to work on your emotions and to do the great work, to do the shadow work, so the shadow empire doesn't have access to you and your reality through your shadow, because you're working on it. That's how it works. And it's fair game, it's fair play. That's how you get into natural, organic reality. You change the dial of your radio station by doing the inner work. We're not here to create parallel societies and tolerate evil on this planet. Whoever says that is blowing smoke up your ass, and they've not understood the truth in great detail yet, as the Gnostic Takeover has. The Gnostic Takeover fully realizes that the problem that we have here is evil in the world. And first we have to eliminate that evil inside ourselves, and then we are in a position to take down all evil outside ourselves in the reality that we're experiencing. So we're changing the dial of the radio station of reality. This is the awakening. There is a original, natural, organic reality waiting for us. And I'm tuning into it every day. That's why I'm talking about it. Where I am the one and only authority of the original, natural, organic, substantial reality. I am the one and only authority, yeah, because I live in my own reality. That's the truth. Again, there is no such thing as a collective reality. This is a scam. And in actual fact, it's one of the mistakes where Mark Passio leads people that have followed Mark Passio. Okay, I highly respect him for the great work that he's done on natural law. He's done many, many good things there, and I still recommend his work for people to look into. However, one of the mistakes that I have found out is the solipsism and how he describes it. And in actual fact, what he describes as solipsism, which he calls a mental disease, a mental illness, and I quote Mark Passio on this, people should be locked up in institutions if they think like that. This is what he actually says in his natural law seminar. People that, according to him, believe in solipsism or the ideology of solipsism. I would invite everyone to do some research what solipsism really is. It is basically that I can only be sure of my own existence. And what Mark describes as solipsism is actually the principle of the one. It's actually the principle of the one implies that you are the one and only sovereign, you are the one and only authority of your reality, and you're in full control over your reality. And your reality that you're experiencing outside of yourself is when you make that quantum leap in consciousness that we all need to do. And this is how we get into the original, natural, organic reality. This is what it truly means to truly step into a reality outside of our fears, where we conquer our fear. Is that there's nothing to fear in our reality, because we make that quantum leap in consciousness and actually realize that what is our external reality is actually 100% our own psyche. So what do we fear when we know that we're living inside our own psyche? We all have our own reality. This is an implication of what I keep talking about, which is the principle of the one. The upside down pyramid starts with the one. And this means that you truly can become and be what they call in the Hermetic tradition a master of mental forces. Master of mental forces. I myself, I don't like the terminology of a master. However, it means for me to be the one and only authority of your reality, and that you're in full charge, in full command, and in full control over your reality. And no one has access to your reality without your permission. And that is the single biggest problem for the dark occultist. That is the single biggest nightmare for the dark occult, to realize that they cannot infiltrate, therefore invade anyone's reality, when everyone realizes that they are inside their own minds, they are inside their own psyche, which is the external experience reality, and that they, every single one, is the one and only authority of their own reality. That would mean fairness. And that's why Mark Passio frames it as solipsism and gives a wrong account of the truth. So very wrong that it's actually a massive mind virus. If you get that wrong, you get everything wrong. Because I'll say it again, there is no such thing as a collective reality. We all have our own reality, and we grow according to our own standards, and that then implies that we are the one and only authority of our reality, and which is the reason why we came here, to realize that we can become masters of mental forces and control our own mind, which is the test of the universe in this life experience that we're in, that we can actually take control of our own mind and never ever be infiltrated and invaded by evil ever again. That would then mean that evil cannot enter into your reality anymore. And then you live without the fear, and you perceive, your perception is without fear, because you're in full charge of your reality. Very important, my dear friends. Very, very, very important. And that's original, natural, organic reality, and that's what I'm putting forward. And yes, I can guarantee that that's controversial, and that's where I want to be. I want to be pushing the boundaries in a world that is drowning in fear. Let's push the boundaries, shall we? The shadow world. They make everything, the forces of limitation, the Archon Vampire Empire, the shadow world. It is all dark. And you've got this mafioso elite class, so-called elite class, that are manipulating the world toward technocracy and UN Agenda 2030, what they call the New World Order. And I have studied all of this for many years, and I continue studying it. However, there's some context needed. If we don't have the right context, if we don't have the right frame at looking at this, then we are living a worldview of lies. And that's what the Gnostic Takeover is dedicated to eliminate every single day. Every single day I eliminate lies in my life, because I only want to live by the truth, because when I live by the truth, I'm free. That's the only thing I'm here to do. I'm doing freedom. So what is it with the shadow world and this all-powerful control system, which seems like everything always works for them, no matter what? They've even had shamans at the World Economic Forum now. I wonder why that was. They'll not be able to change what has already happened. What has already happened. They think they can do it with their fake shamans. Bullshit. Can't do nothing. What the earth has planned for humanity, that's the power that rules, that calls the shots. However, earth is only as powerful as we make us to be. That's what most people don't get, is that the earth is working our minds to wake up. And that's why I'm employed by the earth only, for this new reality, the natural organic reality, the upright. This can also be the upright pentagram, living in truth, whereas the shadow world of the artificial Wetiko matrix construct would be the inverted pentagram. And they're all so powerful, and yeah, now they want to come with the monkeys and all that, and our people gotta believe it. The only thing that counts is if you believe it, and if we finally let go what other people make the decisions. We're only occupied with the decisions that others make, and look how stupid the masses are. They're gonna buy it again with the monkeys and get the next shot. It's none of your business. It's all about if we get the message, if we tune in to original, natural, organic reality, to that radio station that the Gnostic Takeover is tuned into. I'm not doing anything else but realness, the natural. And if that's too much for you, this is not the right channel for you. Simple as. I don't go into confrontation. I do what I do anyway. And what I want to point people out to is the entire alternative media, and I have encountered many of them. Their whole foundation is based on the overarching power of the dark occult. They can talk about love as much as they want, and how we're all consciousness and all this, and then the next thing they talk about parallel societies and cryptocurrencies, and what they do not mention is, and I can guarantee you that most of them don't mention it, is that you need to eliminate all evil inside the self, in shadow work, as well as outside. Because most of the fake esoterics and half-truth is, oh, you can only change you inside, you can't change the outside. Yeah, they don't want you changing the outside. That's the whole point. Dark occultists don't want you changing the outside reality, because that would mean that you are activating the principle of the one inside of you, the Merkaba, and you're changing the entire movie of reality, where the higher causes supersede and eliminate all lower causes. You can be one single individual with a higher cause of perception of reality on the causal level, and you'll be eliminating 8 billion lower causes. And reality will transform and program according to your perception, which will be the perception of the forces of ultimate power that only do truth and freedom. This is what the Gnostic Takeover is doing. I don't know what all the others are doing. But again, probably blowing smoke up everyone's ass. And that's just the kind critique. Call me arrogant, I don't care what you call me. These are just names. I'm doing truth. What I point out is that the control system, all these powerful people and the power that they have, is all intimidation. Yeah, I'm enjoying myself today with this one. I'm enjoying myself. You want a nice picture for the control system? Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. If you don't have the power, because you're just control freaks don't have power, they're only parasite of the power of others. They are in abuse of power. If you don't have the power, then you better have the propaganda machine on and make everyone convince everyone how all-powerful you are. They're doing this, they're doing that. Oh, the 5G, the smart grid, oh. Food shortages, the wars, they continue, and it's just gonna get worse. It has to get worse so the others wake up. You better have all the propaganda machine on when you don't have the power, don't you? You better try and convince as many as possible how overarchingly powerful the dark side of the force is. When it's just a fucking cripple. Symbolized here by the barking god. You better have all the propaganda machine in the world running for you. And you better freaking have the alternative media nuts and bolts in your pocket. Have them completely in your pocket. Yeah, tell everyone how we're creating parallel societies with cryptocurrencies, and we're creating the new world with also powerful ideas, but we don't tell anyone that we need to get rid of evil. We need to get rid of the pedophilia. We need to get rid of the child raping, the child trafficking, the human trafficking, the organ harvesting. Oh, no, we don't do that. I researched that a few years ago, and it made me depressive. So I just thought I'll look into the solutions of all this, and then I came up with cryptocurrencies. That, ladies and gentlemen, is blowing smoke up their asses, and it's happening day and night. round and round in circles it goes in the alternative media. And I'm happy to point it out. I'm also happy to be proven wrong. Absolutely. And there's many great people out there. I'm giving healthy critiques here. And I'm very opinionated. That's what I have to be, because I take myself seriously. But all it is, this whole control system of intimidation, it's a barking God. And yeah, I didn't write dog there because it's the same freaking thing. There's your God. We don't do gods here at the Gnostic Takeover. There could be gods, the god of water or whatever. Yeah, if I encounter them, yeah, let's share a joke or something. However, we don't do God here, as in the Bible or something. If you want to do that, go ahead. For me, it's all the barking God, the dog. That's freaking chained for a reason, right? That's what people are afraid of. Oh, this control system. Oh, they're all powerful and they've got this mafia network that they're running. That's what it truly is. It's a barking dog. And it is fenced in. You know what that fence symbolizes? It's limitation. It's limited. Why? Yeah, because it's up its arse. Because it's the involutionary force. It disappears up its arse. It's limited. It's all intimidation. It's all, oh, we're gonna do this if you, oh, we're gonna do that if you. Well, I live in my own reality where I am the one and only authority, and I do not consent with evil on all levels of existence, and I do not consent with any and all reality hacks or reality impositions by evil. You can fuck off, and I won't allow evil into my reality anymore. That's the fence. You set the law, you set your reality. This is what I do every single day when I wake up. Every single day when I wake up and I realize this is the first day of my life, change of perception, a new beginning. Every moment is a new beginning. Change of perception. I wake up and I set my reality. In the ice cold water in the shower, I do it. I set my reality. And I clearly define what my reality is. I'm anchored in original, natural, organic reality where I'm the one and only authority. I do not consent with evil on all levels of existence. I don't need any confrontation with evil because evil has no intelligence, and I do not partake in time, and I do not take time for no intelligence. And therefore, evil cannot come into my reality. That's as simple as, and this is what I want to share with you, because this is true freedom. And that's what evil is. This is what the world is in fear of. Barking dog behind the fence. Yeah, it has to be behind the fence because the natural order of things commands that evil is in a fence. And that fence is representative of a frequency barrier. Evil can only go to a certain level, but then it is restricted. It cannot go beyond that. It doesn't have access to the infinite like we do. That's why evil wants to keep us in a smaller box than it is itself, in order for us to continue to be a food source for this mind parasite. No more, I say. Satanists running the world. Oh, we have to be so afraid. Oh, they do all this MK Ultra mind control, and it's a satanic criminal network. Oh, it's Satanists running the world. Oh, you have to be so afraid. Well, if Satanists are running the world, then about fucking time I took over. That's what I say. You're not intimidating me. And no longer. No. What you are is barking God. all just intimidation and smokes and mirrors. And you, little boys and girls, especially little boys, you are at war with the truth, and you can't hide the fact that through Operation Looking Glass, it was shown to you that all of reality converges to one singular moment. Yeah, where natural organic reality, original natural organic reality becomes the reality, which is the end of the artificial Wetiko matrix construct that you so desperately wanted to make a reality with the 5G and with the smartphones and the Internet of Things. It's not gonna work because you're just a barking dog, and you're in the shadows for a reason, because they don't have the face, they don't have the balls to face you. That is the absolute truth. And when you're just a barking dog and you have no power, you better own all of the propaganda machines and tell everyone how powerful you are. Ooh, Satanists running the world. That's the response. Then about fucking time I took over. And with I mean the truth. I only do the truth, and I want to be pointed out my faults. I'm not perfect here. I'll never claim to be. I myself am in the process of growing and awakening, and I give myself time and space for that expansion of consciousness. But this is the message. This is when you don't buy the intimidation. This is the perception without fear. That's what we need. It's confidence. It's a confidence trick. This is what the whole game here is all about. With all the little details where you can get hung up on it and you can research here and that alley, and I love doing it too. I love reading books. I love books. I love information. I love going deep into things. However, it's a confidence trick. It's a confidence trick. And it's all about confidence. That's why I point this out. Again, because it's so important. What? Satanists are running the world? So then, about fucking time I took over. That's what the Gnostic Takeover is encapsulated. It's all about confidence. And we better have it. It's the power we require for the takeover. And it's not just me taking over. I'm inviting everyone here to join me. This is the greatest of... For me, it makes life exciting. You can call it something else. Also, if you don't like the Gnostic Takeover, if you don't like the takeover, call it whatever. Make something that makes your life magical. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm doing the Gnostic Takeover. You call it what you want to call it, because you are a unique being with just as much intelligence as I have, meaning infinite, because you are natural, because you have the natural connection to the earth just as much as I do. And we can all do this. Confidence. That's what it really is required. And then you flip the inversion, where psychopaths fear me. Yeah. That Chevy Chase. I'm not afraid anymore. I've lost the fear. I know what I came here to do, and I know no one is allowed to infiltrate and invade my reality. So, what happens next? I'm very excited to see the next chapter play out, the new chapter. Because, as I already said, this is the first day of my life. It's great. It's a new start. It's a fresh start. And I start by flipping the inversion and say, psychopaths fear me. Why? Because I am the one and only truth that they are at war with. They all know it. All those know it. They had the technology, Operation Looking Glass, and all of reality converges to one singular moment where the truth takes over and all of reality is back in the hands of the forces of ultimate power. Yeah, that's right. It's not Satan who's in charge in this reality here on earth. No, it's the forces of ultimate power. And from my perspective, from where I'm coming, the forces of ultimate power is ayahuasca and datura, the medium to the natural world. And there's many forces in the natural world. The forces of ultimate power are taking over. And I invoke, I as a high commander of the highest source, Stephen Y. Brown, I invoke the forces of ultimate power to be here with us at the Gnostic Takeover and to guide, teach, and protect us along our journey of awakening. This is the first day of our life. It's a wonderful new beginning and we're thankful. Thank you to the forces of ultimate power for showing us the way toward freedom in the name of the one and only truth that I am. And this is it. Thank you for everyone who joined in. It's been great being back again. And I was as surprised as you may have been to have seen, oh, there's something going on at the Gnostic Takeover. I thought they'd given up. As I said, you have to go deep for a strong foundation. And we here at the Gnostic Takeover, we will need a strong foundation. You need it for the takeover. So until next time, take very good care. I want to shout out to everyone who also supports us financially. Thank you for any donation one can make. This keeps us going, and I'm happy to ask that it would be of great help if people could help with a donation again, or become Patreon supporters also, and support us in that way. And if not, that's also good. We'll just keep doing what we're doing. We're in the hands of the one and only highest source of all creation, and we'll be taken care of. So thank you for that. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for also becoming the one and only authority of your version of reality, your unique expression of reality, which is the one and only truth. Till next time, take very good care.